Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats get it done. They take down the Troy Trojans, and the Cats are still dancing. Fun ball game. Great atmosphere for the game last night at Burl Brew. It was a lot of fun. Big win, and the Sprites were flowing. We're going to break down the win and preview this matchup with the Illinois Fighting Illini on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash. And Carson, how are we how are we feeling right now? I'm not even as much about the win, but are we 100%? Because I'm feeling like 13% right now.
Yeah, it's got to be below 25. It's got to be below 25. Whenever you wake up and your phone's not charged, you know it's been a good night.
I woke up and we talk. I'm like always on it with charging my phone. So the nights where the Sprites are flowing are the nights where I wake up and my phone was just dead, and I went, oh boy. And then I go, goodness. And I mean, Carson, you slept on Clay's couch, right?
Yeah. Well, it's his guest bedroom. So shout out to Clay.
Shout out Clay, always. And shout out Trev. Trevor has to get his first. We were talking about that last night. We haven't ever had a Trev shout out. Cam Boff's got enough, but normally they're strays. But all right, let's get into this. Carson. I mean, a game, everybody was worried. And everybody listening here, nobody here can act like you weren't worried about this game. Everybody was. And what Carson and I tried to tell everybody all week long was, I think we're looking at these 14, 15 seeds as the boogeyman. Mark Pope is going to go handle his business, pick up his first NCAA tournament win, and he did just that. So, I mean, Carson, how are you think just the vibes around this team when it comes to, can the Cats make a run? How do we feel one game in?
Yeah, I feel really good. Last night's showing was good, even though I didn't think we played all that great. We still won by 19 points, so that's pretty awesome. You can just tell. I think this team is so bought in on being together that anything can happen for this team, because we have so many special players and human beings on this roster that anything can happen with this team. And it starts with the head coach, right? I mean, nothing was better than seeing Mark Pope after that win. You could tell how much that win meant to him. It was awesome.
This, I think, just means a lot to this program. I just think winning that basketball game, and I know this might be a crazy statement, but I think it's a page turn within this basketball program. We haven't done well in this tournament since the pandemic. I mean, realistically. So this is hopefully a page turn. And if you win tomorrow, it's 100% a page turn to the new generation of Kentucky basketball. And I mean, to talk about Calipari for a second, I mean, I just think this is a positive change for both sides. And I think we've seen that in that game last night against Troy. Kentucky is thriving right now. We're in a great spot. We're recruiting well. The fan base feels better than ever. Our players are exciting and fun to watch and great people. Our coach is a great human being. I think that there is a page turn in the Kentucky basketball program, and it's really, I think it's going to lead to banners over the future and potentially even this year. But 20 points from Otega Oweh, Carson. I mean, he's just incredible. He's incredible.
He is so freaking good, man. And I'm going to be the first guy next year to go all in on National Player of the Year, Otega Oweh. Because this dude is incredible. That layup he had where it looked like he almost jumped over the guy and ended up finishing and then headbutted the ball back. I mean, that was unreal. This dude's out here just playing with people.
Yeah. Well, I wrote an article literally yesterday titled something along the lines of Otega Oweh should be the front runner to win SEC Player of the Year next year. I mean, all of the good players are pretty much gone. I mean, your Sears and Walter Clayton and Broom, I'm pretty sure all those guys are both out of eligibility. Otega Oweh is going to be a name. He's going to be a first-team All-SEC player if he does return to Kentucky preseason, 100%. And I believe he'll be a first-team All-SEC player when the season ends as well. I thought that Andrew Carr continues to look like Andrew Carr. 13 points, 5 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. I was really impressed with him. He looks like Andrew Carr. And once again, we hadn't seen that for a while midway, kind of when we got deeper into SEC play.
Yeah, Andrew Carr, for me, he's like the guy that holds this team together. He's the glue, right? He gets kind of whatever he wants down low. He did last night against Troy. I thought we probably should have fed him more often.
Yeah.
But he's just so pure, and his post work, and now the fact that he's fully healthy and knocking down his threes at a high percentage. I mean, look out, because this team becomes scary when Andrew Carr taps into his full potential.
Especially when he's shooting that ball well, which he has been. He's been shooting the 3-ball well of late. And then, I mean, another great Brea night. 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from deep, 13 points. I mean, those are the games from Brea. If he can become that consistently with your chance at the 20 to 25 over the next, hopefully, 5 games, this team will make a run. If 13 points can become a baseline for him over the next few weeks, then this team will make a deep run. I think that's just because he's the X factor. And what about 25 bench points, Carson?
How about Colin Chandler? I mean, is he starting to emerge or what? The pump fake, step back. I mean, come on, Colin, don't do it to him. I mean, this is what we needed, right? You need the bench to step up, like I said in the last pod, in place of Jackson Robinson to make up for his loss. So getting buckets out of Trent Noah, Colin Chandler, Brandon Garrison played well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all those guys stepping up was huge for us in the win last night.
I mean, another thing I love to see is Amari Williams did not have a great day offensively. Besides the absolute, that was one of my favorite dunks in recent
that had to have been on top 10 this morning. I knocked Timmy's drink out of his hand on accident. So sorry.
It landed on me. Part of it did. I mean, not as much. Timmy got the bad end of that deal, but some got on me.
I got a little excited when a 7-foot, 265-pounder jumps in the air and baptizes somebody. You got to get a little excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but what I do love to see is that Williams didn't have his best offensive day, but he still adds 13 boards and 4 assists. I mean,
he looked like a monster rebounding compared to them.
I mean, if you're not scoring, find a way to help, and that's what Amari Williams did in this game. He found a way to help.
You want to hear about not scoring but finding a way to help?
Let's hear it.
That starts and ends with number 1. How about plus 22, highest plus minus on the team? Didn't score a point, didn't have his best offensive performance because his shoulder's about half off. But defensively, he's the best defensive guard in the country, and you can't argue that. I mean, he makes so much of a difference for us defensively because of the talk, because the communication, the togetherness. I mean, he's your leader. So he has to be out there. And oh my gosh, having Lamont out there makes me feel so good about the Cats.
I love a basketball player that, once again, if you are a stat sheet warrior, you didn't watch the game and you pull up the stat sheet, you'd sit here and go, man, Lamont played like crap last night. No, he was probably one of the best players for us last night because of the little things he does, whether it's the facilitating. He's an elite facilitator and he is an elite defender. And the facilitating doesn't always lead to assists. I mean, Lamont's
it's setting up your guys to put them in the best position.
Yeah, I'd like to see if hockey assists were a basketball stat, how many Lamont would have.
Tons.
Because he is not a high volume assist guy for a point guard like a Nimhard or a Ziegler, but he gets those hockey assists and he puts his team in positions to score the basketball, and that's what makes him so special. On top of being the best defender in college basketball, which are, I mean, at least guard defender, and I don't think you can argue it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think everything. The only thing let's see if I have any gripes. What did they had 11 offensive boards to our 7. I mean, once again, they won that category, but not by a wide enough margin where I'm sitting here going, where it's a super big talking point for us right now, which is all I wanted. I didn't care if they out offensive rebounded this one twice. You got to remember, I mean, they missed a lot of shots. It's always really easy to get offensive rebounds.
They only turned the ball over 10. We only turned the ball over 10 times.
That would be my next thing.
Their defense. So that was huge. And that piggybacks on Lamont Butler. I mean, just facilitating and bringing the ball up the court, not going out of control. I thought Amari turned it over a little too much, but hey, you give and you take with Mr. Amari Williams because some of his passes are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I know. But I mean, we won the turnover battle by 1.
Yeah.
I'll take that. If you had told me that, I'd have said we win this game by 15 or more points, and that's exactly what happened. That's what we said. We said, we said that on our preview. If the Cats win the turnover margin and they don't get crushed on the offensive boards, which I don't think losing by 4 when they shot 35% from the field is losing by much, when we shot almost 50%. So I said we would win this game by 15 plus points, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what you and I said, Carson. So any other thoughts on the win over Troy before we talk about the Illinois Fighting Illini?
We know they're not a great offense, but we know they were a great defense. I think putting up almost 80, not even playing well, was great against them, and holding them to 57. Holding anybody to 57, you're going to win every game you play if you hold anybody to 57 points. So shout out to the defense. That just goes along with the top 20 defensive efficiency since February 15th. So keep that going.
Well, I mean, and let's pull this up. So because I've seen the gripes of, and not Kentucky fans, but other fan bases of people saying, well, I mean, the defense was good, but it's against. We've seen them score points this year. I mean, they've gotten held to not a lot of points against some of the other teams in college basketball. Like Arkansas held them, I think, to a little bit less than we did and all that. But at the end of the day, we scored a lot. I mean, we won the game by 19 points. We covered the spread. That's all you need to know. We covered the spread not by 1 point, we covered it significantly.
Good teams win.
Great teams cover. And that's what happened here. So anyone that's like, there's things to nitpick. Amari turned the ball over a few times. I mean, there's always that we could sit here and nitpick things for an hour, but I don't think there's need to. You covered, you won by almost 20 points. And I think it should have been more. There was kind of that point with like 8 minutes left where the game was over.
Yeah.
But we could have extended.
It kind of was like
30.
both teams were just going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. And that, so I think it could have been 30, but it ended up being 19. So I was very happy with this win. And it now sets up a game against the Illinois Fighting Illini, who just took down Xavier 86-73.
First time playing Illinois in 40 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But they led by Will Riley against Xavier, who was a Kentucky target. Now, help me remember this. He was a Pope Kentucky target, right?
Yeah, he was. He was a reclass. He came out of the class that we had talked about for this past season, and we thought he could maybe be a candidate for us.
Because I know that we've talked about we've had a couple shows about him. I know we've talked about him. But he's a good player. Good. They have Illinois got some young like one and done talent.
Well, I want to do something first. I want to do something fun. I want to hear you pronounce Illinois' best player's name.
This tour. Okay. He's from Lithuania. I actually have a lot of Lithuania in me, so I'm going to kill this. All right, you ready? His name is Kasparas Jukonius.
Okay. I don't know if that's even remotely correct, but
it is. Let me have it. Just let me have it.
I'm going to give it to you.
Thank you.
I'm going to give it to you.
But he's a freshman, and he's a stud. That kid. He's a great player. I haven't looked at him mock drafts, knowing that we're not going to have.
Oh yeah, he's projected. Yeah,
I know Will Riley's projected a first.
They're both. They're both projected.
So this is not like this is a NBA talent Illinois team, and they've got another guy. All right, can you pronounce this Croatian kid's name? Take a shot at that.
Are you talking about the
Big C's brother?
Oh, is Ivisic?
Tomislav Ivisic.
I thought you were talking about the Ben Humoristich. That one's even crazier.
He's from Indiana.
That's so crazy last name.
Yeah. But Illinois, they're an interesting team because they're one of those teams. They're really similar to us, and the metrics back that. I mean, you look at KenPom. Ironically, Illinois is one spot ahead of us in KenPom. So we are 17 in KenPom. Illinois is 16. We have the 10th best offense. They have the 14th best offense. We have the 54th best defense. They have the 41st best defense. So very similar. You know, their defense is a hair better according to the metrics. Our offense is a hair better. And that makes sense as to why they're a few spots higher than us. One spot higher than us in KenPom, but they're a team offensively. They're really similar. I watched a good chunk of that Illinois game last night. Not probably in the best state of mind, but I watched it. And they are a microwave team. They can get hot. They shoot 31.1% as a team, but they can get hot. So they have nobody, not a single player on their team shoots above 30. Well, Avicic shoots 35.2, but I don't buy
Yeah,
it.
but his attempts, there's no way that.
That's what I'm saying. So point is, if you take out Avicic, and we'll go ahead and just check this stat because I bet you he hasn't shot more than like 5 the whole year. Let's see.
No, he's probably shot more than 5. I wouldn't say it's over 100 though.
Damn, he shoots 4.6 a game.
Oh shit.
Never mind. Big Z clearly likes to shoot. But still, he shoots 35%. He's their only player that shoots over 35% from threes. So everybody is capable of making them. And that the announcers were talking about that last night. Like they're one of those teams that when they get hot, everybody on the floor can make a three. But when they're cold, and that's why they don't have that one guy that shoots 43% or 42%. So, Carson, I guess my question for you is, where do you think Kentucky needs to attack a team that is statistically very similar to themselves?
Yeah, I honestly think Kentucky can probably get by just playing their game, right? I mean, because I think the SEC is just so much better than the Big Ten, and I think Illinois is a product of the Big Ten, and we're a product of the SEC. So I think Kentucky needs to approach this. I think ball pressure on defense, make these freshmen make decisions. I mean, it is March. Relying on freshmen is hard, so make these freshmen have to make plays. Ball pressure on Will Riley, make him pick the ball up. Don't let them get to where they want to go. I would almost put I know they have Boswell, a former Arizona player. They played with Kirk Creesa. I would almost put I would either put Otega or Lamont on Will Riley or the other guy. I didn't even want to take a shot at pronouncing his name.
Yeah, you couldn't do it quite like I did.
But I think ball pressure on both those guards and closing out on Avicic will be huge. I think Andrew Carr will be pivotal again in this game because I don't see where they match up well with him because I think they play a lot of lengthy forwards that aren't very big. So I think he'll be able to kind of eat down low. So hopefully another solid Andrew Carr performance and play kind of inside out. And then that would work in our favor because they don't really have that inside presence that Kentucky does.
Yeah. And I mean, my question now is, how is Amari going to match up with Big Z? Big Z's brother, keeps saying Big Z. That is going to be one of the keys here because he is a pretty darn good player. I mean, I think Big Z's good. And, knowing that, and he's a little different than former Arkansas's Big Z because he looks a little stronger. So how do you think Amari's going to match up with him? How do you kind of see that going?
I think fine. I mean, Amari's still Z might have an inch on him, but Amari's still 270 and way more athletic. So I think Amari's going to be fine defensively against him. I mean, it's all about closing out and making sure that he doesn't get wide open looks. I think it's going to be hard for Z to take Amari down in the paint because Amari is bigger in the britches for sure.
Oh yeah. That's my concern with that matchup is if Big Z's out there on the 3-point line, knowing Amari's 260 and he's 230, is he going to be able to, I mean, he's not the most fleet of foot, but is he going to be able to get past Amari? That's
I don't think so. I think Amari's side to side better as well.
He is. Yeah, he is. I agree with you on that.
If Amari wanted to, I would sign him up for football right now. I mean, put some pads on that guy.
Well, can you imagine? Oh, that'd be him blocking for Calzada or
we need it. We need it.
Yeah, we do. Illinois went 18 for 18 from the free throw line.
Yeah, see, that's a big key because we only went 10 of 16. So I think our free throw shooting numbers need to improve. And if they go 18 for 18, that's just stinky. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Poo to that. No, I'm in agreement on that. I mean, so I think the keys in this game, you're playing a team that's similar to you. Like to reiterate that they're similar and okay defense, darn good offense, but we're still a better shooting team than they are. And I think that's where we got to win this game.
I think ball pressure and disruption up top, not letting Boswell get to the spots to where his other players will become open. because he's their facilitator. So I think Lamont shutting him down before he can get to where he wants to go to start their actions is going to be huge. So I think Lamont's going to be a huge key. I think Andrew Carr on the offensive end is going to be a big key from us to kind of play outside in. We're going to need Kobe to hit shots. It's going to be a full team effort here. Illinois is no joke.
Yeah. Well, and also they are fourth in college basketball in 3-point attempts per game. They shoot 30.1 a game. They're going to let them fly. So that's part of the reason I think that they shoot 31% because they shoot so many. I mean, that's why Pope's team last year, just how good they were, they only shot like 34% from three at BYU because they shoot a lot. They're a great shooting team. So this Illinois team, I'm just telling you, that's where the game will be won. If we are plus in knowing that we have Owe and he can take it down low, if we are plus on 3-pointers made, like points gained by 3-point baskets, we win this game. That's the reality of it.
I agree. I think our inside presence is much better than theirs. I think that's where the game is won and lost. It depends on their 3-point shooting. They're a team that can get really hot, but they can also go really cold. So you got to close out, get the hand in the face, and I think the Cats can pull it out here.
Yeah. I just think that's the key. If you make more 3-pointers than they do, I think we're going to win this game. And honestly,
it's kind of been the key all season.
Yeah, but I think if they beat us by 1 or 2, I mean, I'm just saying it needs to be closer. We need to win because I think that we can beat them in the other aspects of the game. So, and I mean, when it comes to turnovers, they do. I'm pretty sure that they turn it over 11.5 times per game. So they turn it over probably a hair more than their coach would like.
Yeah. We need to speed them up more than they want to be and force more turnovers. I'd like to see us – we turned Troy over 11 times. I'd like to see us turn Illinois around 13, 15 times because I would feel really good about a win if we could get to that number.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But the other issue here is they are incredible they're also an incredible rebounding team. So they're number 2 in total – now offensive rebounding, they only have 441 total offensive rebounds. So overall rebounding, they're second in college basketball to Alabama. Let's see where they are in just offensive rebounds. I don't think they're going to be that high. I think they're still going to be like top 50. Yeah, they're 29. So they're 29th. They get 12.97 offensive boards per game. So
they rebound well on the defensive end and they shoot a lot on offense and get second chance opportunities. So we're going to have to box out. And try to force some offensive rebounds, try to box out on the other end because I do think we're bigger than they are, which would be nice down low. So I think maybe on the offensive end, get some loose balls and get some second chance opportunities.
And like when you're playing a Florida or a Texas A&M, everybody's got to rebound. Everybody. We can't start running down. You know what I mean? You got to hold somebody back to rebound in this game, I think, because they're so good on it on both ends of the floor and they shoot the ball well. That's where we will get killed. I'll tell you this right now. Second chance offensive rebounds lead to open kick-out threes. That's how Illinois beats us. If they get 16 offensive rebounds and that turns into 6 made threes, that's how they beat us. We have got to, if they get an offensive rebound, get out to the shooters. But the better idea is just don't let them get offensive rebounds. So that is, I think, how we win or lose this game. It's going to be there. So, any other thoughts on this, Carson, before we give some score predictions?
That's all I got, man. I'm ready for 5:15 tomorrow. It's going to be I think the committee gave us probably the best 6 seed. I'd say. I mean, Illinois is pretty legit.
Yeah, they're good. I think if we get past them, we can do this thing. I
think so too. I think this is the game because I think we match up well with Tennessee or to UCLA. So
yeah. I agree with you. And then I think Gonzaga is going to beat Houston today. So I've said that. So if that happens, you'd still rather play Gonzaga than Houston. I know Gonzaga is a good team, but you'd still rather play Gonzaga than Houston. We've already beat them.
Yeah.
So now I'll go first today, score predictions, because you went first the other day for the Troy game, Carson. I think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, these are 2 great offensive teams, 2 middle-of-the-road defenses. I think this is in the 80s game. I think Kentucky is going to win 87-84, and I think it's going to be one of the better games of the tournament. I think this is going to be a great basketball game. So I'm going to take us to win by 3. I think we're going to need to make threes to win. So I'm going to take Kobe as my MVP. We need a pop game. We need a 20-pluser out of him. So I'm going to take Kobe Bryant as my MVP.
Yeah, I'm going Cats 91-90. I think it's going to be an insta classic. I think it's going to have everyone flustered. And I think it's Mr. Double O. Saves the day again, cements his legacy.
Referee dunk cam.
Cements his legacy as a Mr. Kentucky Wildcat. So, yeah, I got the Cats. I think we pull it out. I think it's going to be a really close game either way. I think it's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a fun one. I'm in total agreement with you on that. So follow our Twitter. It's scrolling across the bottom. It's right there. Wildcats Today _ a lot of fun stuff going on over there. You want to should we update how the tournament bracket's going?
Yeah, give an update. You want to give an update because you're cocky.
I want to give an update on the tournament bracket. So through day one, or the first round of the Wildcats Today tournament bracket. In first place, we have Andrew Stefaniak. In second place, we have Megan. And then we've got Ziggy. And then we've got Anstead. And then we've got Robford. And then we've got Grace. And then we've got Evan. And then we've got Asher Barzy. So those are there's a top 10 right there.
Let's go, everybody. Let's knock off Andrew.
No. Andrew's going to win it all. And we made a side bet because the winner of that gets $50. If one of us wins, we have to send the person that wins $50. So I'm hoping I win. That'd be ideal. That'd be very, very nice. So hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a show regardless of what happens, on Monday, win or loss. Hopefully we're previewing a matchup with Tennessee or UCLA. So big game. This is going to be a great basketball game. Win, loss, or draw. It's going to be a fun one, and I'm looking forward to it. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next time on the Wildcats Today podcast.